Lesson 6, Define Plans. So here in this lesson, we are going to talk about or describe plan management, explain you about the plan types, and define a plan for SCM Cloud source system, wherein we'll talk about the plan header, the scope options and all that. And we'll also talk about defining a plan for an external source system. So if the system, all the transactional applications are on cloud, then it will be an internal system. So we call it as an Fusion Cloud Systems and OPS. You can directly integrate that. Suppose if you have an external systems, third-party systems where you want to collect the data from, and then once the plan has run and you have to connect to the external system, then definition of the plan varies from only one aspect. We will see that though, that you have to choose whether this is an internal system or an external source system. So we will even see that. Apart from that, rest of the definition, right from the header definitions, the name, description, scopes, hierarchies, everything remains the same. Only one field is going to decide whether this plan is going to be from an external source system or from a OPS system. Then we also talk about, after the plan definition is done, we will see how to start a plan or run a plan and what are the different options available to run a particular plan. So plan management, plan types, defining a plan for a SCM cloud source systems, define plan options for external source systems, and launching a plan. These are the topics which we are going to cover in detail in this particular lesson. So use manage plans, this particular screen. This works with plans and apply actions in a centralized view. You can create new plans and then duplicate them to save time and plan incrementally. You need, uh, and when you're duplicating it, you don't need to define the scope of the plan, right? Once again, because you are anyway duplicating it, or you are saying that it is getting copied it from the existing plan. And it supports the ability to plan demand and supply separately within an integrated plan and supply plan. So as I said in my overview and introduction session, that we have three different types of plans which you can define. Okay, the type of the plan is going to decide what are the plan options which you can set. The integrated demand and supply plan, only a supply plan, or only a demand plan. Uh, then we can even decide what kind of data I want to refresh, or when I'm running the plan, do I need to run the plan with complete refresh or only with selected kind of data I want to consider for refresh, or without any refresh, meaning a snapshot or in a simulation way. We have the ability of approving certain demand plan data, which we will see in our demand management. And once your supply plan has run, the recommendations which are shown to you on the planning workbench, you can just release them from the planning workbench. The plan orders you can release the supplies, and appropriately based on the sourcing rules, those plan orders are going to get converted into respective documents in the respective applications. But here, when it get released, the plan orders which get released and get converted into respective documents, your SCO, supply chain orchestration, comes into picture, and this supply chain orchestration will be responsible to validate the data and then convert that into the respective work orders in manufacturing cloud, purchase requisitions in procurement, or transfer order and inventory management. So the three types which I have just talked about, demand and supply plan. The single plan will cater both your demand and supply requirements. A single plan will generate the forecast and even if it will generate the supply for you, or only a demand plan or only a supply plan. And based on what type you have chosen while defining the plan, the respective tabs will get disabled and enabled. Okay, so if you have chosen a demand and supply type, then system will allow you to enter the options for demand as well as supply plan. If you have selected the type as demand plan, system will automatically grade out or remove the supply aspects of the options, and it will only show you demand aspects. If you have selected supply plan as a type, then you will see the supply options has been grayed out or removed, and it will only allow you to enter the supply aspects of it. And if you are into a demand management work area, obviously you can only define a uh, demand plan, and it includes demand management features. Similarly, if you are in the work area of supply plan, it includes supply plan features. And demand and supply plan work area types, you can define any of these. And sales and operation plan work area types, you can only define a sales and operation plan. And depending upon the plan type, plan supports generation of forecast, replenishments, and inline simulations. This is a screen where you can see the planning concepts of a integrated plan management. You can create, you can duplicate, you can edit plan options, and you can delete as well. So you can see on the screen, you can give a unique name, a description, then what is the access level, whether it is public or private, who have created the plan, and it will be under unconstrained, so on and so forth. These are the major three different types of plan which you can see. If the plan type is demand plan, then plan demand only, and access to scope and demand and safety stock tabs in the plan options only. Okay. uh, and supply plan general information organization will be disabled. As I said, if it is demand plan, then your supply details will get grayed out. If it is a supply plan, then you can only access to the scope, safety stock, and some general information within the supply tab. And if it is demand and supply, then you can see all the options. And plan type is the first choice to make when defining a particular plan. And plan type is not editable after the plan is launched. So before you have launched the plan, if you want to change the plan type, you can do it. If once the plan is launched, you cannot change the type of a particular plan. And these plan options which you select while defining a plan based on the type, obviously the options get uh, changed or get grayed out, or only demand or only supply, or together demand and supply. The options which we have selected while defining a particular plan for a particular type, these plan options are going to influence the behavior of the planning engine in each supply plan planning product. Okay? And these options specify the scope of the plan in the terms of what are the organizations I want to plan it for, what are the items within the organizations I want to plan for, what is the time horizon of my plan, and what are the planning measures. And it also determines whether to plan both demand and supply separately or sequentially in an integrated plan. And the available options which you will see is dependent on the work area that you are in and the plan type you have selected. Regarding the launching of the plan, we will see when you launch the plan, you will get three different options while launching the plan. Do you want to refresh with current data? Do not refresh with current data, and refresh with selective data. So we will see that, and what are the difference between that also. We'll talk about that in detail. And uh, here, while defining about when talking about the um, plans, and while defining the plan, so my focus would be only on talking about some of the basic and generic things from the plan option sets. Some of the advanced things in respect to demand management and in respect to supply plan, these advanced things we will be talking in detail in the respective demand management and supply management sessions. And when defining the plan in the scope tab, this is used to configure the organizations, the items, the time horizon, the planning level, and the demand forecast for all whatever I want to include in that particular plan. Okay, so the hierarchy is going to decide within the hierarchy within the enterprise what is the member, whether I want to do it at the legal entity level, or at the business unit level, or at the organization level. If I've selected at the organization level, then I can select what are the organizations I want to include in this particular plan. If I've selected business unit, all the organizations within that business units will be included in those plans automatically. Similarly, in the source system, this list of available source systems that can be planned. If you are uh, if the transaction systems, all the systems are within the uh, within cloud, then you will see only one option like cloud source system, or you can even have the external source system. We will see that, and the level members. So whatever organizations should be part of my source systems. Similarly, the forecast items, whatever items I want to forecast it for, I can select the level, the catalogs, and then within the catalog, what specific catalogs I want to forecast for, or I want to use all the catalogs within that particular catalog level. Similarly, the plan parameters, when I am defining an integrated demand and supply plan, if I set an horizon of 90 days or 180 days or 200 days, this horizon is for generating the forecast as well as my supply of plan. Or if it is only a demand plan, it will be only for forecasting, and if it is only supply plan, it will be for supply plan. And this horizon in an ISD plan, integrated supply and demand plan, caters to both your uh, demand perspective and your supply perspective. And this horizon is a minimum horizon is to avoid long running plans. So you can decide it should not be more than 180 days. I would say I don't want to plan for something for 2 years from now, which I don't have a clear idea on what changes would come in my supply and demand and how this will impact. Or rather, I just want to see a plan for next 90 days. So you can take a decision up to what horizon I want to plan it for, right? Similarly, the way we say collect a data of 6 months, or rather 18 months to 2 years of historical data should be sufficient to generate a good forecast, not a 5 years or 6 years. So similarly, while you're generating the plan, also the forecast, also the horizon should be a proper one, not for 2 years or 3 years. And while generating the forecast, you can select the calendar, what should be the calendar there. And if you want to evenly distribute this particular forecast, then you can select the time level as well as the calendar from day to from period to week, from week to day level. And these plan options are only available for demand plans and demand and supply plans. If you see the supply plan, because these are all from the demand perspective within the scope. So if it is a supply plan, you will not see these options. If it is a demand plan, you will see these options, and even in the IST plan or a demand and supply plan, integrated demand and supply plan. Coming to the supply side, in the scope tab, you can decide whether you are defining an MRP plan or an MPS plan, whether it is a manufacturing plan or a production plan. Then what are the supply plan items? What should be included? All plan items or demand plan items in all sales orders, demand plan and WIP components, demand plan and items only, and demand plan items, WIP components in all sales orders. And this is not applicable for your demand plans and your sales and operation plans, because this is in relation with your supply plan. So we'll see the moment you choose a particular type, these options will automatically get removed or get grayed out. And then there are some key plan parameters within the scope tab of a particular plan definition, the measure catalog, which is going to determine the measure included in the plan output. Meaning it's a flexible way to group multiple sets of measures for use in different plans. And by enabling only those measures that are needed for a specific plan, users will be able to do a focused analysis with improved performance. And measure catalog can be maintained by using the task configure planning analytics. Meaning, if I am running a demand plan or defining a demand plan, and if I want to run it, I don't want to see, or it doesn't make sense for me to see the supply related measures, right? Similarly, if I am running a supply plan, in the output it doesn't make sense for me to see anything related to demand. So I can decide what are the measures I want to view in a particular plan output. So, there are some 200 odd measures out of box provided by the system, and do I want to see all the measures in the plan output, or specific measures which make sense and which make sense for me for further analysis, on which I can focus on. I can decide these are the measures which I want to view in the output for a particular plan. I can decide that using a measure catalog, and there is a task, configure planning analytics task. Within the task I can make a measure catalog, and within that measure catalog I can associate what are the measures I want to see for a particular plan. You can make it for a particular demand plan, for a supply plan, for a specific plan, and then while defining the plan you associate this measure catalog. So henceforth, when the plan is run, the output will show you only those measures which are part of this particular measure catalog which you have associated to the plan definition. Similarly, the exception sets. So we have demand exceptions, we have supply exceptions. So based on the exceptions which make sense to me, which I want to focus on, I can only include those exceptions in my plan, which I want to view and I want to analyze. So out of these all odd uh, demand exception separately and supply exception separately, whichever are more interested in for or exceptions which make sense to me or for the business and which I want to focus on, I can just include those exceptions in my plan options. So I can make an exception set, include the exceptions which bothers me, okay, and then I include this exception set into my plan. And when the plan is run, I will see only those exceptions which are part of my exception set. Similarly, the price list, which are price list I want to include, and these options are available for all plan types. The options over here, the measure catalog, the exception set, the price list, all these are applicable for all plan types, no matter whether it is an integrated demand and supply plan, whether it is a demand plan or a supply plan. And other plan options discussed in demand management and supply plan and SNOP plan courses. The specific one related to your demand management, the related to your supply and related to SNOP will be discussed in detail in your specific demand management course and supply planning courses. When define a plan, you can see on the top, you have the name, the description, the type. Okay, this is the scope tab within the scope. And then there you have a source system. Here I'm going to decide whether this is an external or a normal system. And then within the external system, what are the organizations which I want to include. Fine. And you can see different tabs. This tab is for demand related attributes or fields. This is for safety stock, and this is for supply. And based on whatever type you have used, these will get grayed out automatically. And the values or the fields within the scope tab will also get changed based on the type which we have. So regarding the version of whether this is an other system or an external source system, and before running a plan for an external source system, review and confirm that all relevant data is uploaded via files. So this is an important statement. When it is an external system, you have to make sure that all relevant data is already uploaded there. And all other plan options are same for cloud source systems, and either whether that is version of external source system. So in other way, there is no difference in the plan options for either version of external source system or whether it is internal. And more importantly, there is no difference in the behavior of the planning process as well. There will be no difference. Okay, and without the regard to the source of the data, planning behavior is the same for any type of source system. So whether the source system has come from all the data from the cloud manufacturing, cloud inventory, cloud purchasing, cloud OM, or whether you have uploaded the data using a flat files, all the master data and all the transact data, whether it is a normal source system or external source system, the behavior of the planning engine will be same. Okay, it is not going to differentiate within these. And some more information on this, how to use this, you will see in our collection chapter. You have already seen that. You have already seen that in your collection chapter, that uh, how this others and external system versioning works and how to choose them. Now coming to the launch of plan. So once the plan is defined and when you launch the plan, so either you can save the plan and run it from a particular screen, or once you have saved it, you can go to the actions menu, and from actions you can select run. And when you run it, it will show you uh, three different options. Do not refresh with current data. This is used for simulation planning. Refresh with selected data, refresh with selected data. So you can select any one of them, either the demand history, forecast, sales, or supplies. You can optionally select all the four, or selective data, that I want to refresh only this data, and all the other data should be as per the earlier collected data. So you can refresh with select data and refresh with current data. All entities are refreshed with the current collected data. So whatever data is there in the collection database, that is going to be taken into consideration for running the plan. Okay. And first time when you run any plan, you have to make sure that you use this particular option, refresh with current data. Anyway, when the plan is run for the first time, you will not see these two options. Only this option will be available. And once you have run the plan, after that, you will have all the three different options available for you. Do not refresh with current data for simulation purpose, only selected data, or refresh with current data. And based on the scope, as you have just seen, whether it is integrated demand plan or all, it is going to generate the demand. It is going to generate the forecast, okay, a demand schedule. If the safety stock calculation is on, it will calculate the safety stock, and then it will even plan the supplies. And one more important thing which you have to keep in mind is, while defining the plan, you have to choose the appropriate forecast profiles. It could be a booking history, shipment history. Okay, and this is only available in the demand plan or demand and supply plan case. There you are. So, and you should also make sure that enable forecast processing. This particular checkbox is always enabled when we are running the plan. By default, it is enabled, and just don't remove or disable that. Let it be like that. So this is going to help us in data refreshment of snapshot, and it also helps us in forecast processing. So all your consumption and all that happens based on your uh, this particular checkbox of enable forecast processing. And while running, uh, again, you have three different options, whether you want to run it in a interactive mode, or you want to run it in a batch mode. So everything have its own pros and cons. The plan data is, if you do it in interactive mode, the plan data is not saved to database. Plan completes sooner, and simulation plan run quicker. And if you want to release anything from this particular simulated plan, you cannot do that. In spite, if you want to release it from this particular simulated plan, you have to first choose the action save to database, so that you can release it from this particular simulated plan. And Close removes the plan from memory and retains your actions. In the case of batch, plan is available for analysis without loading into the memory. And optionally, you can save the calculated totals such as projected on-hand balances that appear in your material plan. And all the plan data is saved to a database automatically. So this is about the defined plan. So let's go into the system and see where do I define the plans and how do I define the plans. So go to supply chain planning, and here you have planning center. So these are the different uh, products within supply chain planning, and you have planning central because we are referring the foundation course. So double click on planning central. It opens. We have seen this screen earlier in our overview. So whatever plan you have earlier visited or opened, that will be opened again for you to show you the data. So first and foremost, let's go and see how to define a plan. So click on your task drawer or task panel. There you have manage plans. Click on that. You can search a plan based on its status, name, owner, last run date, last update date, on the type, etc. You can select, or you can give a blind search to search all the plans. So here, this is the plan name. What is the status? What is the description? What is the type of the plan? Whether it is a demand and supply plan, only a supply plan, or only a demand plan. Well, I cannot see any demand plan here, or it can be only a demand plan. And the access level, whether this is public or private, whether it has got copied from something, when it has run last, who updated it, when it got updated. So all those details you can see over here. Now, if I want to define a new plan altogether, you can either go to actions and say create or click on the plus icon, either way. So let me try and create a new plan altogether. So now, before I give a name over here, you see on the top, the type first thing which we have to choose is the type, demand and supply type. So when the type is demand and supply plan, meaning I want to do the demand management, supply management, everything in a single plan, integrated demand and supply plan. All these options are enabled. If this is only a demand plan, you will see that safety stock and supply options have been removed, and even in the scope, a lot of details pertaining to a supply has been removed. If it is supply plan, you will see here all the demand related things has been removed from the scope tab. Demand tab got grayed out, and you can enter only safety stock and supply related details. Okay. Now let's go back and take a demand and supply plan where I can do both. Give a unique name, demo IST plan, integrated demand and supply plan. Just giving a description as well. Now, as I told you that these are all under unconstrained and you don't have an option to choose them, select them. These are all unconstrained. Coming to the access level, if it is public, meaning it is available to everyone, whoever have the access. If it is private, you can decide that who all I can give the access to. And you can see the list of all the users available over here. You can give it to any one of them. By default, whoever is the creator, you can see I am the user, scm00.instructor. So this instructor is the owner because he will by default have the access. If it is private, you can even decide to who all you want to give the access to. Next, coming to the plan organizations, this is the hierarchy. Okay, I want to choose hierarchy as the enterprise, and the level members, either I can use a legal entity, business unit, or an organization, any of these. Okay, and prior to that, you have to select a source system. So whether this is an external system or an OPS. OPS stand for your Fusion Cloud Systems, and external system could be anything. You can first and foremost, you have to make or define these source systems. There is a different task where I define the source systems, include the organizations in that, and then that will be available for me in the LOV over here. So this is going to decide whether this is for others or for externals. So let me take an OPS. which is a Fusion Cloud system, soul system. And level members, I have said organization. So which all organizations I want to plan it for. So it will show me all the organizations which are available and which are enabled for planning, and I can select all or only few of them and just say okay. So I can select those. Coming to the forecast items again, which all items I want to configure for. So you want to do for all the categories within a particular catalog or only certain. You can even decide that. Okay, this is level 1. So I can see all the catalogs here. So you want to do it for all the categories or only for few of them. So you can decide or you can take all of them. It's up to us. So which all I want to forecast it for. Similarly, from the supply side, whether this is a manufacturing plan, MRP plan, or a production plan, MRP plan or a production plan, you can decide that. And then supply plan items also you can decide which option I want to select it for. Accordingly, you can take any one of these. Then coming to the plan horizon, you can see this horizon, either it is by default it is 180. So you can make it as 90 or 100 or 60 based on the business requirement. So this is going to govern up to what duration our plan is going to run. If it has to generate the forecast, up to what days it has will generate, and if the supply plan, up to what date this supply will be generated. So this is my entire horizon of the plan. So this is plan parameter. And the forecast calendar, which calendar I want to use, an operations calendar or Gregorian calendar, and the forecast time level, whether it is daily, weekly, or period. Accordingly, I can select that. This is the measure catalog which we have talked about. So what are the measures I want to view in my plan output once the plan is run? So only the measures which make sense, as I said, I want to include. So there is a task, configure planning analytics. In that task, within that particular measure catalog, these are the different measure catalogs already created. So I can select any one of these, okay, and I can choose any one of these, and within this particular catalog, whatever measures has been associated, only those measures will be visible to me in my plan outputs. Similarly, the list price and the exception set. So here within the exception set, there are so many exception sets available. Which exception sets I want to use it for? Okay, so this default exception set may have certain exceptions included in that. So when I run the plan, only those exceptions will be shown to me as an output. Okay, the exceptions which are part of my exception set. And regarding the demand, safety stock, and supply, as I said, these will be in detail, will be explained to us in our uh, demand management and specific supply management sessions. So just I will quickly run through that. So this is the forecast profiles which I was talking about. Okay, so you have to give any one of these. So forecast shipments and final shipment history will be the input, and what you are going to get, you are going to generate shipment forecast or booking forecast. Okay, so if I say I want to profile is booking forecast, so the input will be the booking history and the output will be my booking forecast. And what is the historical dates? How much of history data I want to consider for generating of the forecast. What are the forecast buckets? Okay, any lock periods there or not? Similarly, if I want to calculate or generate the safety stock system, I can enable this and appropriately set the values. From the supply side, so you have seen today we are, and based on 90 days, 60 days I think I have given. So 90 days I think I have given. Let me go back and let's see. Okay. Yeah, 90 days. So today started and it has ended after 90 days. So that is already based on the horizon. It has been set the dates, and whether you want to use the DTF or PTF and all that, you can enable this. And these are in conjunction with your item attributes. And this assignment set, is going to help you that whatever items you have defined and for the sourcing rules or BODs you have defined, all those which has been associated to this assignment set will be taken into consideration, right? And once you rerun the plan, do you want to override all the form plan orders or none? You can decide that. And if you want to spread the forecast, do you want to spread it evenly, then what is the calendar I'm going to use? All that is. If you want to consume the forecast, either you want to consume the forecast based on the buckets or based on forward or backward dates. You can even provide that. Your DTF, RTF, and your DTF, PTF, and your RTF, all that you can enable accordingly. At organization and schedule tab, whatever organizations we have selected in the level members, you can see all of them. And there is no need to associate a different schedule for each and every organization. The same demand schedule is going to cater for all the organizations. Okay. And here, the type, we have three different types. One is demand, meaning the demand plan output itself is the input or the demand schedule for the supply plan. Or the type could be external, meaning you have uploaded a forecast from an external source using an FBDI template. You can use that forecast as the input for a supply plan or your MPS plan, right? So your MPS plan, if you have defined a master's production schedule, and that plan could be an input for your MRP plan, a manufacturing plan. All the three different types are available: demand, production, or external. And then go back there, and you have some advanced options, which, as I said, all these things in detail we will talk in our supply plan session. So now you are ready, you are done with the plan definition, that's all. And you can just either save and close or save and run. I will just say save and close so that we can see the menu option as well. And we'll see that our plan got created over here. And then you can go to action and say run. So select the plan and just say run. And then you have the details here. So as I said, forecast booking, and whether you want to run at batch mode or interactive mode. Because this plan is run for the first time, you will see refresh with current data option only. If you're running for a second time or third time, all these options will also be available for you. Once I click on OK, in the background, it will launch the plan and all the relevant programs will be spawned and it will run. And once that is completed, you will see the status is complete and your plan is ready to work on for further. Now, once the plan is done, the output is done. Now we can go and see how to view the output of a particular plan, how to use the tools available to view the data, to analyze the data, both from the demand perspective, supply perspective, what are the exceptions which system has shown, how do I see the demand pegging, how do I see the supply pegging, how can I see the item details from a supplies and demands table, a material plan, horizontal or material plan from a supplies and demands table. From one table or from one set of data, how do I toggle or switch to some other set of data without toggling from application to application. From the same screen, you can go ahead and see different kind of data for further analysis, which makes a life of a particular planner very easy to work on, analyze it, and then take a conscious decision. So let's see the next topic which we have planned for. So next topic is on manage configurable workbench. So wherein I can view the data, and if I want to do certain um, customizations or personalizations, that also we can talk about. Okay, so next topic is about managing the configurable workbench, meaning how do I view the output of plan and how do I work with the plan output data.